From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Wednesday morning. Today is going to be another First Alert weather day as we are concerned about the fire start potential for lower elevations, given that it's going to be pretty windy and also it is going to be very dry out there. Winds already starting to pick up. Peak gusts have been between 20 to 30 miles per hour this morning in the Kittitas Valley. It's starting to pick up in the Morrow County foothills and the lower Columbia Basin as well. After 8 this morning, that's when they'll really start to ramp up. Right now, temperatures feeling awesome for lower elevations, 60s and 70s, 50s up in the Cascades and 50s and 60s in the Blues. Your day planner forecast for today for lower elevations is going to be in the 70s and 80s around lunchtime. Then a big spread of temperatures at the peak of daytime heating, cooler in the Kittitas Valley, but 80s and 90s for the rest of us. So for today, definitely not as hot as yesterday, but still a few degrees hotter than normal for this time of the year. Bottom line for the forecast, windy with dangerous fire weather today. Triple-digit heat going to resurge for this weekend. And unfortunately, the forecast staying dry, but I'll show you more of the metrics to back up point number 1 coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a number of agencies and even Tri-City SWAT all called to a Pasco home. What police are saying about the arrest that was made.
And we hear from first responders on how they were able to handle the hundreds of calls that they got during the 4th of July holiday weekend.
And National Weather Service is dealing with some staffing shortages, but will we see an impact here in our region? We're working to get you answers in our special report. It's all on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jade Elliott. It is Wednesday, July 9th. We've made it halfway through the week.
Woohoo, hump day.
I know. And it was a toasty one yesterday. And how that's going to continue to progress and continue. Yeah, Josh, of course, will keep you updated on this First Alert Weather Day.
We want to start off your top stories, and we're starting off in Pasco, where a large police presence, as well as a drone team, ended in the arrest of a wanted man.
Yeah, so this all happened yesterday, just before 1. It was on South 4th Lane, just outside of downtown Pasco. Police there were patrolling. They spotted a man outside the house, surrounded the home. They deployed a drone, even canine unit. And they even had to call in the SWAT team. They finally were able to arrest that man about an hour later. Now, we asked Pasco police if this possibly was connected to the shooting that happened over the weekend. Here's what they said.
So today's events are in connection with an ongoing investigation, so I'm not going to release any further specific information about that. Our officers used hailing tactics, basically asking the individual inside to come out. That person complied with commands. I was taken into custody without any incident.
So police haven't, as you heard there, released any other information in regards to this arrest or if there is a connection to that shooting. We first told you about that shooting on Monday. It happened over the weekend. A man was found shot near 6th Avenue. As we continue to get updates on both of these cases, we'll of course pass it along to you.
In continuing coverage now on the search for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters, there's been some talk about potential sightings, with one woman saying that she believes she saw Decker near her family's cabin outside of Idaho City just a few weeks ago, back in the beginning of June. Now, Jennifer Rice says she called Washington authorities after spotting him and noticing that he seemed out of place. However, she says authorities told her they already knew where Decker was. Rice says she then saw a report from another person that Decker may have been spotted in the Sawtooth National Forest. She believes it is Decker because he matched the pictures that are being circulated.
He had a bedding roll that you would sleep on, but there was no sleeping bag. And so I thought, well, what is he going to do with that? And his backpack wasn't big enough to have been stuffed with a sleeping bag. And so it just didn't make sense. Are you sleeping or are you not sleeping?
The U.S. Marshal's Office still has an active 1-800 number where people can send in tips or sightings of Decker, and authorities are offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
6:04 and fireworks lit up the sky, but so did dozens of fire calls across the Tri-Cities on this 4th of July. Pasco crews responding to nearly 3 times their normal call volume. Dispatchers were, of course, as you can imagine, just as overwhelmed. Pasco Fire say they received 86 calls during the holiday weekend, 54 of them fire-related. Deputy Chief Tim Harkin says the department even shifted to what's called Category 4 dispatching, sending a single unit to smaller grass fires to keep resources available.
Category 4 dispatching, which anytime there was like a grass fire type of an incident that came in, they would just dispatch a single resource or a single unit to that incident.
Crews also responded outside of city limits as well, assisting with structure fires around the region. Despite the high call volume, officials do credit teamwork and planning for keeping the night under control. 6:05 in education news now this morning. The Sunnyside School District is offering some new activities this year to make kids' summers both fun and educational.
The district is in its third week of offering enrichment activities to kids in first grade through fifth grade. And the activities take place at Central Park and South Hill Park. And each week there is a different theme.
So this week's theme is sports, but other activities have included Lego challenges and even an entrepreneur boot camp. The program's coordinator says these sessions are a service to both the kids and the Sunnyside community.
What can we do to provide something for our community and for our kids to do in the summer that will enrich their summer, give them learning experiences that are outside of the classroom? Lots of students in our community might not have the opportunity to go to different summer camps and things like that, so we're trying to bring the activities to them. That's why we're doing it in the park instead of like at a school building.
So the district will continue hosting the sessions for 3 more weeks from 10:30 to 11:30 every morning.
And on Tuesdays, they set up shop at Central Park, and on Wednesdays, they're at South Hill Park. Exciting things.
Yeah, it's always nice to have something for your kids to do during the summer.
Because they're always like, I'm bored, and I remember those days.
Our internet went out for a few minutes yesterday.
Oh no, are you okay?
You would have thought the world was ending at the Elliott house.
I mean, hey, sometimes it feels like that.
Oh my gosh.
All right, more exciting things coming up. We have how you can help a United Way program and make a difference in the lives of children across our region.
And giving you a live look outside this morning from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will have your first alert forecast and let us know just how hot it's gonna get. We're back after the break.
One day, maybe these were your people, or these. But maybe one day you noticed fewer people, which can feel different, but good. Because now, older, we decide what our people means, how we spend time, even who they are. Like us, our people are their own people, and our connections keep us active, sharper, and happier. Find ways to connect with people of all ages at findyourpeoplewa.org.
Bathfitter does showers? That's right. We offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers in all shapes and sizes. We can even convert your bath into a shower. How about that? With our seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you'll get a beautiful new shower to fit your needs, guaranteed for life. Bathfitter's been around for 40 years, and we've been experts at showers for just as long. Get yours today. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Should we push the timeline?
Will it hold?
Should we outsource?
What do you think?
Do you engineer it to work? Or design it to move? Give them what they want.
It needs to be taller, faster,
even cheaper.
Or take things to new places. You've got to build the right team. No, that's the one. Revise it, redo it, develop it. Keep pushing until it's right.
Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business.
Did you know Tri-City Lumber Company isn't just for contractors? We're your local source for decking, railing, hardware, and more, open to everyone. For over 30 years, DIYers and homeowners have trusted us for quality materials and expert one-on-one advice. Now, under new ownership, we're making it even easier to shop local and build better. Skip the big box stores. Visit Tri-City Lumber today on Clearwater and Kennewick, or call us at 509-783-3322 today.
Due to recent supply chain delays and clearance items stacking up in the warehouse, this week all Walker's Furniture locations are having an emergency inventory liquidation sale where you can save up to 70% on all floor models, discontinued styles, and clearance items.
New inventory is on the way, so we're clearing space and passing the savings on to you. Plus, special 5-year financing was brought in where you can save now and pay over time with no minimum purchase required.
During the inventory reduction sale this week at Walker's.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. The National Weather Service in Pendleton has posted this red flag warning for a good chunk of our viewing area. Now, personally, I wish they'd expand this up into the Kittitas Valley because wind gusts there could be up around 50 miles per hour. But that aside, the time frame is going to be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and we'll have more metrics to back that up coming up a little bit later in the show. So for today, lots of sunshine across the map. Could have once again, some light upper level haze, and also there could be a few showers in the Cascades, but to the east of there, we're going to keep it dry. High temperatures definitely cooler as opposed to yesterday, but still hot. Will be a few degrees hotter than normal for this time of the year. 80s and 90s for lower elevations, 50s and 60s in the Cascades, and 70s in the Blues. Then for tonight, kind of the same deal. More light upper level haze, a few showers up in the Cascades, and overnight lows will be mild, as will be in the 50s and 60s for lower elevations, 40s in the Cascades, and 40s and 50s in the Blues. Now let's show you Futurecast upper level wildfire smoke or haze, and wherever you see the gray color, that is just very light upper level wildfire smoke. And with the winds picking up for today, you'll see the back edge of this around lunchtime starting to get into the Kittitas Valley, around 4 p.m. splitting the Kittitas Valley and the Yakima Valley, and then into this evening it should start to clear out in the basin, in the foothills, and the Blues. And then for tomorrow, looks like this is mostly not going to be our problem up until the late evening, then upper level winds shifting out of the north and east, so that could bring some more haze and smoke back into our region as we head into Friday. But I'll touch more on the fire weather setup for today and the heat for this weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Making a difference this morning now, the United Way of Benton and Franklin counties is looking for mentors to help local students thrive in the classroom.
Yeah, this is through their Attendance Matters program, and Apple Valley News Now's William Albert is showing us just how big of an impact mentors can have on a child's life.
United Way of Benton and Franklin counties is looking to hire 6 part-time mentors to work in elementary and middle schools up to 20 hours a week, helping kids stay on track and feel supported. The Attendance Matters initiative, which began back in 2013, started incorporating student mentorship in 2021. It gives students a caring adult who checks in, leads small groups, and works with schools and families to help kids feel supported and keep coming to class. And even though the mentorship program hasn't been around that long, it's already had a big impact.
We've provided one-on-one mentoring and group support and other student support to over 990 kids so far in the Tri-Cities.
Bonhayo says mentors play a versatile role in students' lives.
They do one-on-one mentoring, they do group mentoring sessions, they can provide little classroom assistance, or help kids get caught up with homework if they've been missed too many days to get caught up.
However, Bonhayo says federal budget cuts that are beyond United Way's control mean they can't hire as many mentors as in previous years. But she adds that mentors they do hire will be there for the entire school year.
The kids that we worked with on the mentees, that their mentors were just pulled away from them at the end of the school year, and we didn't want that to happen again this year. So we are having less mentors this year than we've had in the past, but that was a strategic decision because we know that they'll be able to be there all year.
Mentors who are involved in this program will help perform a variety of roles, which include helping students stay on track as well as promoting good student attendance, something that folks in education tell me is much needed with young students.
Kennewick local Kate Smith, who works in education, says she sees every day just how much kids have going on in their lives.
We understand that as adults as well. When we've got big stuff going on in our lives, it's hard to show up at work. And they have so much less power over their lives than we do. So when they've got big stuff going on at home, they really just need somebody to listen to them.
She says all support staff in any school, in any capacity, makes a big difference.
With support people like that, I've worked at a school where we had kind of a bare bones staff. And in the last couple of years, the more support staff that we've been able to bring on board, the better it's been for everyone, for staff, for students. Kids want to show up.
As United Way continues looking for mentors, their focus is on finding people who can help students be the best they can be. In Kennewick, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
And if you would like to help, you can go to applevalleynewsnow.com to find a link to sign up. And coming up next, we're getting a break from the heat, but it's short-lived. Josh Colbreth has when it's coming back exactly. Hopefully not today, hopefully several weeks away, but probably not.
Tomorrow, probably.
Probably, right now. Well, Josh has all those details coming up in that full First Alert forecast after the break.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
Stay busy this summer with the City of Pasco. Enjoy open swim at Memorial Aquatic Park from 1 to 5:45 p.m. every day, with lap swim weekdays at noon, or sign up for swim lessons throughout the summer. Join the all-ages Beat the Heat Run Walk Club on Wednesday mornings to earn entries for an end-of-summer prize drawing. Check out free, family-friendly movies and music at Pasco Parks, plus many more activities and events, all listed online at pascoparksandrec.com.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. Mike Sport at the Homeland Field.
How about you two?
Mud bath.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 2 years.
Due to recent supply chain delays and clearance items stacking up in the warehouse, this week all Walker's Furniture locations are having an emergency inventory liquidation sale where you can save up to 70% on all floor models, discontinued styles, and clearance items.
New inventory is on the way, so we're clearing space and passing the savings on to you. Plus, special 5-year financing was brought in where you can save now and pay over time with no minimum purchase required.
During the inventory reduction sale this week at Walker's.
It's Ultraviolet Safety Month, and we're raising awareness of the damage UV causes to our skin. Get more information about possible UV damage at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Sponsored locally by Prosser Memorial Health. This is how we care.
A dry spring has resulted in an early wildfire season. Apple Valley News Now reminds you when you're out this summer to obey all fire restrictions. There's more information about preventing wildfires at applevalleynewsnow.com. It's up to all of us to help prevent wildfires.
Next live.
Ready?
Superman's Rachel Brosnahan takes us inside her role as the iconic Lois Lane.
It's surreal.
Plus, summer savings.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Once again, it's another First Alert Weather Day as we're concerned about the fire start potential for our lower elevations with very windy conditions, and the vegetation will be critically dry. So first, let's touch on the heat again for today. Definitely not going to be as hot as yesterday, but still hot out there, a few degrees above average for this time of the year. 80s and 90s for lower elevations, 50s and 60s in the Cascades, and 70s in the Blues. Now on to today's vegetation dryness forecast. It's going to be critically dry in the Cascades and the upper Yakima Basin, and also critically dry in the Kittitas Valley, the Yakima Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, and the Blue Foothills. Then you factor in the wind gusts, which are especially going to ramp up after 8 a.m. They're going to be persistent throughout the day and throughout the evening. Peak gusts could be around 50 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, 45 miles per hour in the Morrow County foothills, and points in between, peak gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour. So in these conditions, fires could start or spread quickly. Now, thankfully, we're going to have more moisture in the air for tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit cooler, and so that means that even though we still will have an elevated level of dryness for most of our region, it's not going to be as dry as today. Also, the wind gust not going to be as strong as today either. Now, it still could be a little bit breezy across the map, especially in the Kittitas Valley, peak gust around 35 miles per hour, but I'm not as concerned with that setup as I am for today's setup. Also, there's going to be a little chance of showers today in the Cascades. We'll show you that very quickly with Futurecast radar around. And after lunchtime, a few light showers, but to the east of there, we're going to keep it dry. And we're going to continue to keep the forecast very dry for Thursday and beyond. Not just dry, but also we're going to heat things back up once again. We'll keep it fairly seasonal Wednesday through Friday, but back up around 100 degrees in the Tri-Cities for Saturday through Tuesday. As of now, it looks like Sunday is probably going to be the hottest day of this ordeal. So once again, the lower Columbia Basin will see the worst of that. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dangerous fire weather today, cooler Thursday, then the heat comes back this weekend. In Yakima, cooler but windy Wednesday, a day of upper 80s tomorrow, but back into the 90s Friday and beyond. In Ellensburg, strong wind gusts and a tough fire setup today, still windy Thursday, but not as strong, and perhaps another windy stretch Saturday through Monday. In Hermiston, not as hot today, but more dangerous fire weather, tracking the return of the heat for this weekend. Then for Walla Walla, hot, dry, and breezy Wednesday, mid-80s for Thursday, then a stretch of 90s Friday and beyond.
So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. When we come back, Josh is going to be back with us, and he's going to talk about the cuts being made at the National Weather Service, and also why he says he found more questions than answers. We're back after the break.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino in Yakima. Experience the thrill of our Vegas-style casino, featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and earn exciting rewards. Enjoy games like Blackjack, Pai Gow, and High Card Flush. While you're here, don't forget to unwind with a drink at our cozy bar or enjoy a meal from our restaurant. Come discover Yakima's ultimate entertainment destination, Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
At Bruce Heating and Air, our technicians are not incentivized by commissions or to find problems. We only look for solutions to keep you cool. Now through September 30th, receive rebates up to $1,650 off on a new Daikin Fit system.
At US Cellular, we created an event to celebrate our customers, like Luana here, called Us Days.
Yeah, they give us special rewards and exclusive deals in everything. It almost feels like we're part of a cool club together.
Sure does.
Slide, connect. Woo, woo, woo. Hug, shake.
Us Days just got bigger. All customers get a free phone with no trade-in.
When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new Toyota Tacoma for just $299 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back, 6:23, and we talk a lot about it. Over the past few months, the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, commonly known as DOGE, has been making cuts to federal agencies, and that includes cuts to the National Weather Service.
But what exactly does this mean for our region, and will we be impacted by these cuts? Well, Josh joins us here this morning, and you've been working on this story for months now, trying to get some answers.
Yeah, it's been in the oven baking for a while. Well, when news of this first broke, I began searching for information on what the impact of these cuts would be, especially when it comes to forecasting in our region. That's what this story was going to be about, but I found out many more people had more questions than answers. So when news of the cuts first happened, I reached out to the National Weather Service office here in Pendleton. I wanted to ask how many people were losing their jobs and how it was going to impact the region. The office referred me to another person in the agency to talk with. I reached out, but didn't get a response.
The overall goal here with the DOGE team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits.
I began reaching out to our local lawmakers, including Republican Congressman Dan Newhouse. I asked Congressman Newhouse about the cuts DOGE is making, affecting people right here in his district and neighboring districts. I was told he would get back to me. In the meantime, a statement was published on his website on passing the budget resolution, which included cuts to weather agencies. It states, passing the budget resolution unlocks the next step in the reconciliation process, allowing Congress to reduce federal spending, lower inflation, and advance a conservative agenda to get our country back on track. It will be no easy task, but Republicans must stay unified to deliver for the American people.
We will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly.
Next, I learned Washington Senator Patty Murray was hosting a virtual press conference on the recent cuts to the National Weather Service. I took it as an opportunity to get some answers, but instead, it appears I'm not the only one feeling left in the dark.
So I was hoping someone maybe knows the quantity of the layoffs at perhaps that station in particular.
We don't know the answer to that because we're not being given the information by the administration. What we have seen so far is employees like this just get their notice 2 hours before they're told their phone's going to be shut off, and that's when we find out. So I don't have the answers to that. I don't know if anybody else does.
The National Weather Service is not the only agency taking a big hit. Washington Senator Maria Cantwell says she is shocked at what she says is the Trump administration's plans to gut the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, commonly known as NOAA.
These staffing shortages are already impacting NOAA's core functions, including reduced and suspended weather balloon launches at many of our weather forecast offices. And I can't tell you how important this is for us, particularly related to fire season. These NOAA weather activities are giving us essential data about how best to prepare for fire season.
Dr. Rick Spinrad is a former administrator for NOAA. He says he's worried these cuts could put each forecasting office in a bind.
Please bear in mind that those weather forecast offices, almost every one of them was already operating at barely acceptable, in some cases below acceptable levels.
The layoff situation is going beyond the employee cuts already handed down by DOGE. Back in March of this year, a protest was held in Yakima called Stand Up for Science. I talked with Paul Tabion, who was part of the rally. He says he's worried making cuts to local forecasting offices will directly impact farmers.
Well, as someone who's worked in industry and had to rely on weather, you rely on all sources, and primarily when you have a national source, your local sources also reiterate that same information. And if you don't have this chain of operation, you literally have people presenting false information.
The proposed funding cuts to the National Weather Service have been co-signed by House Republicans, including Congressman Dan Newhouse. I reached out again in April to the congressman to ask him about the cuts and how it would impact local weather forecasting and his district, as well as regional responses to wildfires. His team sent me a text message. While I agree with reducing the bloated federal workforce and related spending, we must ensure that positions critical to public safety are maintained. And cuts to the National Weather Service and NOAA are just two of the areas that are seeing significant impacts from the Big Beautiful Bill. Coming up tomorrow morning, it's part two. I'm telling you about the cuts to the U.S. Forest Service and concerns on how it could impact responses to wildfires just as the season gets underway.
Important information. And so talk to us a little bit about these cuts. Can you tell us if you do know of any cuts that have happened to the National Weather Service here in Pendleton, or have they already been operating kind of at that understaffed level?
Yeah, so it's kind of nuanced, right? I reached out to a source with the National Weather Service Union. They wanted to remain anonymous, but they're very familiar with the National Weather Service office in Pendleton, and they told me that normal staffing for the National Weather Service in Pendleton, for it to be considered 100% fully staffed, that would be 13 full-time meteorologists. Even before the DOGE cuts, they were at 8, so 8 out of 13 is like 60% capacity. Now, they haven't seen any personnel cuts from DOGE, but I think that underscores a very important point, that this was already sort of a systemic issue in the National Weather Service, understaffing across the country. And so this isn't a problem that DOGE created, but in many instances it is being exacerbated. Yeah,
and we are seeing that, especially right now with the floods in Texas. I know a lot of talk has been about the staffing and whether that area was fully staffed or staffed in a shortage. And it does, like you said, it sounds like nationwide this has been an issue even prior to some of the federal cuts that we've seen. Yeah, definitely. And so that, you know, as someone who is obviously a meteorologist, I'm very concerned about public safety, sort of the politics aside, and that's hard to do in this story, but it was already an existing problem where the solution to me would be more funding to these agencies, more personnel staff, and so it is a little concerning that it seems like the vibe of this administration is going the other direction. Now, of course, the course could change, but we'll have to see how that pans out.
And you've got part 2 coming up tomorrow, and if people want to learn more about this, where can they find that?
Yeah, so we have a longer version of this story at applevalleyNewsNow.com. Congressman Dan Newhouse, the text message you saw at the end of the story, he said a lot more about this. So we've got the full text on the article, and you can also watch an extended version of this story on our YouTube page as well.
All right, thanks. Looking forward to part 2.
Of course.
All right, still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We're talking Ben Franklin Transit and how they're working to make sure you stay cool while getting a ride. We have those details coming up in your 6:30 half hour.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. And with over $2,500 in annual value, now own the card that rewards you for it. Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business.
Hello, Shelby.
Hello, Mariano.
Upload Mrs. Robinson's case.
Processing.
Is there any new information?
The record shows no driver at fault. However, we found footage which shows the other driver caused the wreck.
Nice job. What's the insurance company's offer?
You know it's too low. Should I ask them for more?
Thanks, Shelby. But you know when they hear from the heavy hitter, they'll pay much more.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Injured in a car wreck? Call the heavy hitter, Attorney Mariano Morales.
It's time. Time to let your soul breathe a little, to feel the sun on your face, and to feel alive again. It's time to dust off the clubs, to treat yourself, and test out your lungs. It's time to get away to the place that's not so far away, Lakeside Coeur d'Alene. Win a dream giveaway at cda4.fun.
Due to recent supply chain delays and clearance items stacking up in the warehouse, this week all Walker's Furniture locations are having an emergency inventory liquidation sale where you can save up to 70% on all floor models, discontinued styles, and clearance items.
New inventory is on the way, so we're clearing space and passing the savings on to you. Plus, special 5-year financing was brought in where you can save now and pay over time with no minimum purchase required.
During the inventory reduction sale this week at Walker's.
The fireworks don't stop on the 4th. McCurley Subaru's Red, White, and Vroom sales event is lighting up July with explosive savings. As the largest volume Subaru dealer in the area, we've got the inventory and the deals. For the first time in a while, get low financing, like 1.9% on the 2025 Outback and Crosstrek. Don't wait. Save today and keep the Red, White, and Vroom spirit alive all July long. Only at McCurley Subaru, your way home.
Apple Valley News Now is Yakima.
Apple Valley News Now is Pendleton.
Apple Valley News Now is Tri-Cities.
Our broadcast center may be in Kennewick, but Apple Valley News Now is everywhere.
From the Blues in the east to the Cascades in the west, one television station is everywhere you want us to be. We're Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
We are on your side.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. And with 8 times points on Chase Travel, now own the card that rewards you for it. Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business.
This newscast sponsored by Walker's Furniture and Mattress. This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, we're making our way back from the bottom. We're at $50 now for the jackpot.
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
Now we're here. It's only 55, but now we're here. Okay, yesterday went with the forecast high of 103 in Pasco Tri-Cities. It verified right at 103, so now the jackpot, again, up to $50. So for today, a much cooler, but definitely not cool, forecast high of 94 in Pasco Tri-Cities. If it verifies between 91 to 97, the jackpot's going to hit $75. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleyNewsNow.com, clicking on the contest page. You can scan the QR code on your screen. Okay, today is another first alert weather day because of the obvious. It's going to be dry, it's going to be windy, and so there could be the potential for large fire starts for a lower elevation. So here's how to prevent wildfires. Mind your campfires. Don't toss cigarettes. What are you doing if you do that? Check equipment sparks, mowers, chains, trailers. They can all cause fires, and obey fire restrictions. And I know that we're past the deadline of legal fireworks, but I was definitely still hearing some in my neighborhood last night. So just shame on you folks, and just know that is definitely not a good idea for today. Okay, winds already starting to pick up in the Kittitas Valley and in the Morrow County foothills and in the lower Columbia Basin, and these are especially going to ramp up after 8 this morning. Feels awesome outside right now for lower elevations, 60s and 70s, 40s and 50s in the Cascades, and 50s and 60s in the Blues. Your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities is going to be into the mid-80s as soon as lunchtime and the mid-90s at the peak of daytime heating. Cooler compared to yesterday, but still hot. Will be a few degrees hotter than normal for this time of the year. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's hot forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much. Well, with temperatures climbing into these dangerous areas once again this week, Ben Franklin Transit, they are trying to take some extra steps trying to help keep riders safe and cool.
At BFT Transit Centers, riders can now hop aboard any air-conditioned bus that's waiting at the platform, even if it's not their scheduled route. So it's temporary, but welcome relief for those stuck outside in that heat. And officials say it's part of their broader effort to protect public health.
If you're at one of our transit centers, you can look at, we have sandwich boards up that have these stay cool and which routes serve which cities and the cooling shelters at these cities. And so you can see there's quite a few in almost every city that we serve.
BFT also reminds riders, of course, to stay hydrated and to look out for others who might be struggling in the heat. In addition to the buses, several cooling centers are open throughout the Tri-Cities. You can find more on those locations on our website, applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Now, after nearly 2 decades, passengers going through airport security in the U.S. will no longer have to take their shoes off, and that includes the Yakima, Tri-Cities, and Walla Walla airports. The TSA will be eliminating the security requirement effective immediately. We spent the day at the Tri-Cities airport yesterday to gauge travelers' feelings, and it came back mixed.
Fabulous, because as I get older, it gets harder. And I'm turning 70 on Friday, and I'm going to Disneyland for my 70th birthday because it's their 70th anniversary, so little perk here to start the day.
She's celebrating her birthday in a great way. Well, other travelers we spoke to say they're still concerned about safety, especially while flying. And the rule first went into effect shortly after 9/11 in 2006.
I might start wearing cuter shoes to the airport.
Yeah,
because I don't have to take them off.
Exactly. Now it's like you don't have to step on the dirty floor. Like, how often do they clean that?
Like
Probably not often.
Like I never wear like a boot.
Yeah,
or like a major lace-up shoe.
I look like a completely different person at the airport. Yeah. All right, keep it here because coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, Nyria is looking for her forever home, and she's no stranger to Operation Best Friend. So that means we need to get her a home ASAP. We have more on her just ahead.
And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Yakima Federal camera here at the Apple Valley Studios in Kennewick. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert is going to have another look at your first alert forecast when we come back after the break at 6:38.
Have you ever had a day like this? Bad days are why we got in the game. Capuzza Lighty, accident injury lawyers.
And the princess never felt the pee as the Summit made for a perfect night's sleep.
What was it like before? Never a mattress?
30 years ago, getting a mattress was pretty scary. Middlemen hawked spring-filled slabs, hardly fit for a dog, at prices like you wouldn't believe. And you'd barely sleep, what with bad foam and even worse support. But then, Denver Mattress came to town. They promised a better night's sleep, and they delivered. And it still holds true to this day. Denver Mattress. After 30 years, still the easiest way to get the right mattress.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. My sport at the Homeland Field.
How about you two?
My bass.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 2 years.
Apple Valley News Now is Kennewick. Apple Valley News Now is Richland.
Apple Valley News Now is Walla Walla.
Our broadcast center may be here in Kennewick, but Apple Valley News Now is everywhere.
From the Blues in the east to the Cascades in the west, one television station is everywhere you want us to be, leading the way with local news you trust. We're Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Always on your side.
We're back, baby. Yes.
I'm so excited to be here.
We actually watch you every night. You're in our bedroom every night.
The feud gets wild.
Come on. Grandma, he smells really good.
Weird.
Are you ready for this? You better.
Take two. And famously funny. Name something your mate's booty has in common with the basketball.
It bounces.
Celebrity Family Feud season premiere Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
It's time to lose your generic weather app. Scan this QR code to download the Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app. It's the app you need from the team you trust.
The Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather app, only from Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Next live.
Ready?
Superman's Rachel Brosnahan takes us inside her role as the iconic Lois Lane.
It's surreal.
Plus, summer savings.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Here's today's CoatCast for the Tri-Cities. It's just kind of laughable to call it the CoatCast at this point. I should rename it to the T-shirt cast. It's going to be T-shirt weather all throughout the day. Maybe for this morning, it's already 71 degrees this morning in the Tri-Cities. Perhaps in the shade you would need like the lightest jacket in your wardrobe, but definitely for the rest of the day it's going to be T-shirt weather. Today, cooler compared to yesterday, but still a few degrees hotter than normal for this time of the year. That means we're going to be around 60 in the Cascades. That's not hot, but it will be quite warm in the Kittitas Valley, low 80s. We're also concerned obviously about the fire start potential peak gust around 50 miles per hour today in the Kittitas Valley. Then in the Yakima Valley, highs in the low 90s, windy here, peak gust between 30 to 35 miles per hour. Also, there could be a little bit of light upper level haze across the map for today, not expecting any big time reductions to air quality. In the lower Columbia Basin, windy, especially in the Tri-Cities and Hermiston, peak gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour. We'll have highs in the mid-90s. In the Blue Foothills, we're going to be in the mid-80s in the Morrow County foothills, but low to mid-90s in the Umatilla and Walla Walla County foothills, and mostly in the 70s up in the Blue Mountains. And it'll be especially windy today in the foothills as well, specifically in the Morrow County foothills where peak gusts could be around 45 miles per hour. And to underscore the fire start potential for today, I'll show you just how critically dry our vegetation is. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
All right, this morning for Operation Best Friend, we have a returning dog.
Yes, we featured her, Nyria, last year, but she is still looking for her forever home.
So let's make this the last time she gets airtime. Let's get Nyria that home.
Operation Best Friend, sponsored by As You Wish Houses, Christine Connolly Realtor, and by Manthite Group Cross Country Mortgage.
Hi, this is Mikey's Chance Canine Rescue with Operation Best Friend, and today we're going to introduce you to Nyria. Nyria is a 4-year-old American pit mix, but don't let the pit fool you. She is a lover, not a fighter. All of Mikey's Chance dogs are special, but Nyria is extra special because she's currently in boarding, so she needs her forever home, but if that doesn't happen, she needs a foster home. Nyria came to us when she was dumped in a rural area, and you can tell from the scars on her face that she may have been in a fight or two, which makes her very reactive to other animals, so she needs a home where she's by herself. What Nyria lacks in animal skills, she totally makes up for in people skills. She loves all people, young, old, or anywhere in between. While ideally we'd like to find somebody to adopt Nyria, we realize not everybody has the financial needs to do so. You may have the home and the love, but not the money. And in that case, fostering is a great alternative, because all you provide is the safe space and the love, and Mikey supplies the food, the necessities, and even toys. She loves to snuggle, and I think her dream home would be someplace where she can get on the couch and sit next to her people and just cuddle all day long. She's not much on toys, but her other favorite activities are car rides, rolling in the grass, belly rubs, and again, snuggling and meeting new people. If you're interested in either adopting her or foster home, just let us know and we can set up a personal meet and greet where you can meet your new best friend.
Little sweetie needs a home.
Such a cutie. Yeah, get her a home this time, please.
Did you meet her yesterday?
I did, and some dogs are just full of life. Most dogs are full of life, but this one especially. You can see it on her face, you can see it in the waggy tail, so give her that home.
Very spirited. All right, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have your morning sprint. Everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. And as we give you a live look outside this morning from our Yakima Federal camera here at the Apple Valley Studios in Kennewick, we're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert. He's going to have your full First Alert forecast on this First Alert weather day. We're back after the break at 6:45.
Hello, Shelby.
Hello, Mariano.
Upload Mrs. Robinson's case.
Processing.
Is there any new information?
The insurance offer is too low. Should I ask for more?
You know, when they hear from the heavy hitter, they'll pay much more.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Our number one service here at NIU Women's Clinic and Aesthetics is our weight loss program. Our program is really focused on a lifestyle change. We want our patients to be able to lose around 10 to 15 pounds of weight loss a month is what we see. But when they're done with us on the program, we want them to be able to keep that weight off. We don't want to see them yo-yo.
So I've lost about 40 to 50 pounds, and that's been over the span of 3 to 4 months. At my peak, I think I was losing probably 10 pounds a week. It was quite a bit, and I just noticed it was falling off of me.
So we are proud to announce that we are releasing a virtual weight loss program. What makes our program so successful for both men and women is the fact that we are treating exactly the reason why you're gaining this weight in the first place. By addressing your insulin insensitivity, your hormone balancing, your lifestyle, treating everything. We really focus on you and your needs.
Now open in Yakima. Go to newuwomensclinic.com to start your weight loss journey today.
Something big is coming to Wild Horse Resort and Casino. He's elusive, he's famous, and there's a $120,000 Bigfoot bounty out for him this July and August. Spin the prize wheel for cash, free play, or the Bigfoot Bounty Progressive that increases each spin until it's won every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then on July 26th, one of 3 lucky Bigfoot trackers takes home $15,000 in cash. Come catch Bigfoot. Wild Horse Resort and Casino, celebrating 3 decades of fun.
When you walk into one of Walker's Furniture's 13 locations in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, one of the first things you'll see is the largest selection of quality living room furniture and stylish bedroom furniture on the West Coast. From the rich looks of Leather Motion to modern and contemporary designs, these family-owned stores have provided our communities and neighbors great furniture at great prices.
And remember, Walker's is where
quality just costs less.
The fireworks don't stop on the 4th. McCurley Subaru's Red, White, and Vroom sales event is lighting up July with explosive savings. As the largest volume Subaru dealer in the area, we've got the inventory and the deals. For the first time in a while, get low financing, like 1.9% on the 2025 Outback and Crosstrek. Don't wait. Save today and keep the Red, White, and Vroom spirit alive all July long. Only at McCurley Subaru, your way home.
Hello, Shelby.
Hello, Mariano.
Upload Mrs. Robinson's case.
Processing.
Is there any new information?
The insurance offer is too low. Should I ask for more?
You know, when they hear from the heavy hitter, they'll pay much more.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Operation Best Friend, sponsored by the Manthei Group Cross Country Mortgage.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is a First Alert Weather Day because of the fire start potential that we'll see for lower elevations. Thankfully today not going to be as hot as yesterday, but still a few degrees hotter than normal for this time of the year. 80s and 90s for lower elevations. Now on to today's vegetation dryness forecast. It's going to be critically dry in the Cascades and the upper Yakima Basin. Then for the valleys, the lower Columbia Basin and the Blue Mountain foothills. Then you factor in the wind gusts. It's going to be especially windy after 8 a.m., persistent gusts throughout the day, but specifically in the Kittitas Valley, peak gusts around 50 miles per hour, 45 miles per hour in the Morrow County foothills, and peak gusts for points in between 30 to 40 miles per hour. So conditions ripe for fires to start or spread quickly. Now, thankfully for tomorrow, it's still going to be dry out there. We'll have an elevated level of dryness, but not as dry as it will be for today. And also the wind gusts not going to be as pervasive as they will be for today, but still a little bit windy in the Kittitas Valley, but not as concerned about the fire start potential for tomorrow. Let's show you some shower chances that we'll have for today. It's mainly going to be up in the Cascades, specifically after, well around lunchtime and a little bit after that. Light rainfall, tangible rainfall amounts are going to be hard to find, and to the east of there, we should keep it dry. And we'll continue to keep the forecast very dry for Thursday and beyond. That means that vegetation dryness is going to go up, and high temperatures unfortunately about to go back up as well. We'll keep it pretty close to seasonal through Friday, and then back up around 100 in the Tri-Cities for Saturday through Tuesday. Early indications are that Sunday could be the peak of this. So again, the lower Columbia Basin going to be the hottest spot, but for lower elevations, 95 to 100 I think is a pretty safe bet. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dangerous fire weather today, cooler Thursday, then the heat comes back this weekend. In Yakima, cooler but windy Wednesday, a day of upper 80s tomorrow, but back into the 90s Friday and beyond. In Ellensburg, strong wind gusts and a tough fire setup today. Still windy Thursday, but not as strong, and perhaps another windy stretch Saturday through Monday. In Hermiston, not as hot today, but more dangerous fire weather, then tracking the return of the heat for this weekend. Finally, for Walla Walla, hot, dry, and breezy Wednesday, mid-80s for Thursday, then a stretch of 90s Friday and beyond. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Maine murder mystery.
People are scared. They don't know what happened. Is someone out there? This type of homicide is very rare.
Authorities scouring this rural area of Maine east of Augusta, looking for clues about who murdered 48-year-old Sunshine Sunny Stewart. Stewart paddleboarding alone on Crawford Pond around 6 p.m. last Wednesday, but she never returned. Authorities say she was reported missing 6 hours later.
Last seen wearing a blue dry pack, a light-colored shirt. She is very experienced on the water with a paddleboard.
Her body found the next morning near what's called 100 Acre Island in the middle of the pond, accessible only by boat. The coroner ruling it a homicide. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the latest on this urgent investigation. With your GMA First Look, I'm Matt Rivers, ABC News, New York.
About 1 in 5 people with fatty liver disease have NASH, which can lead to cirrhosis.
I thought I had fatty liver disease, but it's actually NASH, and it's scarring my liver.
Rezdiffra is the first and only treatment for NASH with moderate to advanced liver scarring without cirrhosis. It works directly in the liver to help reduce scarring and reduce NASH.
Before taking, tell your doctor about liver or gallbladder problems, or if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to be. Serious side effects include liver injury, gallstones, gallbladder, pancreas inflammation. Stop taking and call your doctor about tiredness, nausea, vomiting, fever, rash, jaundice, stomach pain. Tell your doctor if taking gemfibrozil, cyclosporin, clopidogrel, or statins. Side effects include diarrhea, itching, dizziness, constipation.
I have a way forward.
Ask your liver specialist to test for scarring and ask about Rezdiffra.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is 6:53. It's time for your morning sprint. We start off with your national headlines. The flooding in Central Texas has killed at least 110 people, making it the deadliest freshwater flooding event in the U.S. since 1976. More than 160 people are known to be missing, including 5 campers and a counselor from Camp Mystic. Search and rescue efforts are continuing this morning.
And now the top 5 local stories you need to know as you head out the door this morning. The Attorney General's office is issuing a summary judgment against the city of Sunnyside. According to our sources, this is on the city's eviction practices. We'll be at the hearing at the Yakima County Superior Court, and we will bring you the details tonight at 5 and 6.
And we're learning that fire restrictions in Washington could be sticking around for longer than just the summer. That means no campfires, no open fires with charcoal, and even shooting is off limits. Officials say they don't expect things to improve anytime soon.
And Ben Franklin Transit is taking extra steps to keep riders safe and cool. Riders can now hop aboard any air-conditioned bus, even if it's not their scheduled route. It's temporary and a part of BFT's broader effort to protect public health.
And the United Way of Benton and Franklin counties is looking for mentors to help local students stay on track. This is for their Attendance Matters program, and they're looking to hire 6 part-time mentors to work in elementary and middle schools. It would require up to 20 hours a week, and if you're interested, you can head to our website to apply.
And the city of Grandview is set to welcome back Cash, the police department's newest canine. There will be a meet and greet this morning at 10 a.m. at the Grandview Community Center Gymnasium. People will also be able to watch Cash show off his skills.
So cute. All right, trending this morning. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
You guys understood the assignment. Well, we all know the answer is SpongeBob, but so does the Postal Service.
Yeah, so if you're a SpongeBob SquarePants fan, but the movies, TV shows, and occasional parade just aren't enough for you.
Me.
Well, exactly. These are what you will find on Jessica's wedding invitations being sent out in the mail.
And the amount of quoting SpongeBob that me and Jessica do off camera is it's a criminal amount. Well, SpongeBob and the Bikini Bottom Gang are appearing on 4 new Forever stamps, which are to be officially unveiled on August 1st in New York.
So you can see the whole gang from Nickelodeon's long-running animated show. A sheet of 16 stamps will cost $12.48. They are 78 cents a piece.
I just need to get Chris on board to use these on our wedding invites, and there we go, you know?
You know what happens is you just do it when he's out of town.
Actually,
and
you know,
pop him in the mail.
Men don't really like to be too involved, so like I'll just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't worry, honey, I've got it taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Perfect.
And if he doesn't like it, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
just pull a Mrs. Puff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, get us out the door. We saw some really warm temps yesterday. What are we expecting today?
Not as hot today. Still hot though, and I think the fire weather setup is much more dangerous for today. You can see evidence of that as the winds are already picking up in the Kittitas Valley and the lower Columbia Basin, especially after 8 this morning. That's when they're going to ramp up, and they are going to be persistent throughout the day. Feels fantastic right now for lower elevations. Already 72 degrees at 6:57 in the morning in the Tri-Cities. Later today, 80s and 90s, a few degrees hotter than normal for this time of the year. Certainly cooler compared to yesterday. Bottom line for the forecast, windy with dangerous fire weather for today. Triple-digit heat possibly coming back for this weekend. The forecast staying bone dry. But again, today a first alert weather day as it will be windy out there. The vegetation is going to be critically dry, so we'll have the potential for large fire starts in the valleys, the basin, and the foothills.
Well, like Sandy Cheeks and Jessica Jalal say, that is some Texas weather. Thank you guys for joining us and watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find updates at applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Good Morning America's up next. We'll, of course, be back tonight with your local news and weather at 5.
Have a great day.